How's it going, y'all? Welcome back to Kevin Billy's Garage. This morning we've got something a little bit different. We're going to change the oil on my wife's 2001 Jeep Cherokee Trail Hawk. All right, so follow along with me, and we're going to go through the process of getting this done pretty quick and easy. Okay, first things first. I'm going to do this without lifting the car up. I've got just enough room to get the oil pan up under here. So that's going to be amazing and be a nice time saver. Tools you're going to need. It's a recommended 24 mil socket. I have a 15/16. They're really close in size. And a 13 millimeter. I've got a long hair handle 3/8 drive breaker bar here as well, just in case it's a bit harder to get off. Sometimes, the last time I had the oil change in this was at the dealership. Sometimes they can torque them back on and be next level impossible to get loose. Okay, next thing here, we're going to need to pop the hood. Do that. Come inside the car. Just up under here. See right here. Pull that. It's going to pop loose. Come around to the front of the vehicle. Just up under the license plate here, or above the license plate. You're going to squeeze. There's a lever right there. So you're going to squeeze it, pick up on the hood, let it go. Pull your hood all the way up. To get access to your oil filter, behind this cover here. So that's it right down in there. These can be a bit annoying just because of the shroud that's on it, and this pops up real easy. There's 4 spots on it. Just pick up on it. Okay, smack the camera with it when you can. All right, and that comes up. So it's got these 4 studs. They're just little pop-on rubber grommets right here. And they line up on these little balls right here. Okay, so we're gonna set this aside. And now we've got a lot more unobstructed access getting to this. Okay, so let's head under the car and get set up to pull the drain plug. Okay, so I'm just down here on a piece of cardboard. I find that that's easy enough to just slide around on and get up underneath this thing. The drain plug luckily is not real far back, so you don't have to crawl way up under this thing to get to it. Okay, so we're gonna have our drain pan nearby, but we don't need it right this moment. We're gonna start with the regular socket, or ratchet, and see if it comes loose that way. Nope, no joke. It's on there. Okay, so we're gonna go to the breaker bar. This is a 6-point socket, by the way, to give us the maximum amount of grip on this bolt. Because the last thing you want to do is round it off. All right. Okay. Make sure you smash your finger in the process. That's very important. But it came loose, so now we can carry on with our oil catcher. So bring the pan up to where you can still get in here. This is where I make a big mess. Okay, so keeping inward pressure on the plug. Okay, that was my click. I've just got a little bit of oil running out now. Got it running all down my hand. Okay, all right, so plug is out. I'm gonna set that there in the side of the drain plug and let this puppy drain for a minute. While it's draining down below, I've come back up top here and we're gonna get into pulling the oil filter. So let's see how tight this one is. All right, that wasn't too bad. And what I've done is I've just gone and gotten an old box and I stuffed a paper towel in the bottom of it here to help hold the oil when I pull this thing out. So we're gonna get that nice and close. Okay, holding it over it. Tip it up. Yeah, set this in our box. Okay, got a little bit of spillage there. I set this down on our cardboard here so we don't get any more on the car. Come in here and just clean this up. For replacement parts, I've gone with the OE manufacturer recommended oil filter.
So that's going to be the MO349. What's awesome is you can get this at Walmart. It's really awesome being able to get some of these OE filters there. They're probably a little more expensive, but at the same time, it's just really convenient because I can also go and get my 530 full synthetic Valvoline, which is my personal favorite, and you get it in 5-quart jugs, which is amazing and a really nice money saver. And then you just got to buy 1 more quart to get your 6 quarts for this guy. Pulling the filter out. Use my rag, keep my fingers from getting too oily. Just pull up on it. It pops loose. Okay. Now these have an O-ring on them that seal them in the car. So you do need to replace that. It comes with one with the oil filter. All right, pull it loose. We'll set that aside. Okay, we got our new filter out of the box, the new O-ring. So, what you can do inside the housing here, just get a little bit of oil on your finger. You're gonna wanna lube this ring up. This is gonna be really important. If this goes in dry, it can bind up and then you'll end up with a leak. And you don't want a high pressure oil leak. You can take it and roll it on, bring it all the way down to the surface that it was. Okay, nice and wiped on there. Take our new filter, push it, there you go, clicks on. Okay, it's got this little extra O-ring here that seats down inside the motor, so just make sure your new filter has that on there. Get your hole down in there, you got this. Okay, I'm gonna spin it backwards until I hear it click. Oh, there it went. Okay, not really much of a click, but I felt it settle into the threads. That gets them lined up. You can just thread it right in. Wrench it to tighten. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna go grab my torque wrench and we're gonna torque that on there. I've got my digital torque wrench out. I've got it set to 25 Newton meters, which is what is recommended on the cap right here. I don't know if that's really very visible, but it says there's a 25 right there, and that's Newton meters. That's approximately 18.5 foot-pounds. I'm gonna do this one-handed. Okay, all right, then we hit a peak torque value, 25.8. These are really, I love the digital torque wrenches in that regard because they'll let you know if you overdid it very quickly. Okay, so our filter's on, it's back in tight. So we'll put our cover panel back on. So remember, we've got these little posts. Get it lined up on, that one lined up. Get that one lined up. Okay, you just push down on it. Not real hard, it seats in there real easy. Put our cap back on, which you can see it's got a slight pattern to it. So you just line the pattern up, turn it clockwise, locks in. Okay, so now we're ready to put our drain plug back in and fill it back up. So as we can see, the oil is just barely dripping out of here now. So I feel confident in putting the plug back in this puppy. So we'll pull it out. Let's check our threads real quick. Look for any deposits. Looks pretty good to me. Fish this back up in the hole. Gonna spin it backwards until I feel it click. There it goes. Now my threads are lined up. And it still doesn't want, there it goes. We'll get our ratchet. We'll flip it back to tight. All right. Click. All right, that felt good to me. I'm gonna rag up under here. We'll wipe this all off and then we'll fill it up. Just kidding. So let's fill this back up with our oil. So to get that done, pretty straightforward. Pull your oil fill cap loose. There's an O-ring on it too, so just check to make sure that that's not damaged in any way. Okay, I've got my funnel. Just set that right down in there. And we've got 6 quarts of Valvoline's finest. All right, see if we can do this one-handed and not make a big mess. Thanks for joining me this morning and getting through this, and hopefully before I get too hot and sweaty. All right, let me get the rest of this poured in here and I'll bring y'all back in a minute. Okay, so I got the rest of the oil in there. I went ahead and wiped this O-ring off, and then I just took a little bit of the oil and just wiped it on there so you can see it glistening a little bit. It's just a little like care maintenance, pouring a little love into your vehicle, showing it that extra bit. Okay, our dipstick is right here. So I've not started this engine up yet, but we'll check the level real quick. It's kind of hard to see. About halfway up the check marks is where the oil level is currently. That'll change. It's still running down into the motor. Okay, all right. So we're gonna start up, let it run for a minute, and then we'll go through the oil light or the oil maintenance reset. Okay, so we've got it running now. So we're gonna look up underneath it first, make sure there's no oil pouring out of it. Nothing's pouring down yet. That's good. Okay, we'll come up, we'll check around our oil filter. You guys see anything in there? Neither do I. Okay. Okay, so I've got it running already. All right, we'll shut it off. Okay, and then as it says, without pressing the brake pedal, set the engine, that's the on run mode. Okay, so that's AC on run. Okay, now we're gonna go through our menu until we find oil life. Okay, I think it's in vehicle info. Coolant temp, trans temp, oil temp. Okay, we're at 29% oil left, so I'm glad I changed it. So we're gonna press and hold OK until it hits 100%. And that's resetting the oil. All right, thanks y'all for following along with me and dealing with the beep because the door's open. All right, well, thanks for following me along on that adventure of changing the oil on this thing. Start to finish, it took me just over an hour with all the filming. Taking my time. This was the first time I've changed the oil in this vehicle. So it went really smooth. I honestly couldn't have been happier. So thanks again. If you like this video, consider liking and subscribing. Tell your friends about it. Tell your friends about me. I think I'm awesome. I hope you think I'm awesome. I know you're awesome. So take care. Bye. A little extra bonus content here for you. So after you finish changing your oil, I like to use like one of these reusable jugs or catch pans with the lid on it, and it seals. Not the best, but they seal well enough. And then to get rid of this oil, you just take it down to your local auto parts store. Sometimes call ahead and just make sure they have recycled oil or that their oil bin isn't full. But I've never run into an issue where I couldn't find a parts store very close to my house that I couldn't take this and get it recycled.